As the Buddha once said, to make an omelet, you have to crack a few eggs. Meaning that to get the success, to get the enlightenment, we have to be aware of the First Noble Truth. We have to be aware of and to embrace and to face the suffering. So wherever we find ourselves to happen to be at this moment or any moment in this situation or any situation with this person or that person or this physical experience or that physical experience, we have to be mindful and we have to detach. So being willing to be mindful, being willing to detach, that is the nature of the compassion. That is the nature of the willingness to face the suffering that is here. You can go to a coffee shop, you can go to become a monk or a nun, you can live at the meditation center, you can run around trying to make money for years and years. You can do whatever you want, but there must be a stopping point. And the stopping point is found in whatever, wherever, however, whomever. This situation, this moment, this experience is just a matter of everything. 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 And we can use the word everything like a mantra to clear out all of the things that are trapping us, that are frustrating us, that are worrying us. And we have to go about this in such a way where there's a certain element of consistency. There's a certain element of investment and involvement in this path and in community, because if you don't have that connection to something that's wholesome, something that's meaningful, something that's worthwhile, a path, then you will always be perpetuating the depression, the anxiety, the confusion, the complicated thinking. These things are going to come up. Our traumas, our fears, our desires, that heaviness of sleepiness, that heaviness of frustration, that heaviness of wanting more, that heaviness of wanting things to be a different way, that hotness of a lot of complicated thinking. So find yourself where you are. Find the Buddha where you are, and don't try to kill the Buddha. Maybe try to love the Buddha first. And how do we express love? Well, we express love through generosity. We express love through kindness. We express love through forgiveness. We express love through mindfulness and detachment. There was a great master who once said, maybe it was the Buddha, that said, the best thing that you can do for your teacher is to do what's best for you. And we have to start finding out a way to live our lives where every day we're doing something that is the best thing for us to do for ourselves. To be more peaceful, to be more free, to feel that there is a place of refuge, that there is a sense of release and relax in life. And it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you've done or what you're planning to do or where you've been or where you're going to go. This is that moment. This is the moment of no moment, of everything that is already not something. We tend to go around thinking about things, and we're going around making judgments, and we're going around kind of caught on the hook of our non-stop thinking. You have to turn off the NST. Not to speak about NFTs, you have to deal with the NST. That's the biggest NFT that you've invested in and lost a lot through. And that is the non-stop thinking mind. So as much as you can think, dare to not think. As much as you can do, dare to not do. As much as you cannot do, cannot fix, dare to do. And so in this way, it's really becoming a workable situation. And it's a situation of no situation. It's a situation of mindfulness and detachment, or welcome to the club. Welcome to reality. Welcome to no past, no future. everything. So really be more open to that in your life. Because the money's not going to do it. The status isn't going to do it. The people liking you isn't going to do it. You have to stop all that. You have to forgive all that. You have to release all that to the degree that you can now. The now that is nothing. Just everything. So here and now is just like flicking you on the forehead. Or taking this, this is a good spoon. This is my kind of spoon. And I see you in the street and you say, whoa, there's a monk here. What's going on? And I take this spoon, hit you right there. Hard. Good and strong. And that's this. That's now. That's here and now. It's just me hitting you on the forehead with this spoon. Why? Because I want to hurt you? Because I want something from you? No, because there's a happiness in getting hit in the head with a small, tiny spoon. Because if it's not a small, tiny spoon that you get hit in the head with from a monk, it's going to be a car accident. It's going to be a disaster in your life. It's going to be prolonged depression, prolonged anxiety, prolonged delusional thinking, non-practical thinking. And it's not that we have to become a spiritual leader or an enlightened person. It's that we have to develop this relationship with stopping and listening. Opening to the everythingness. Because then life becomes this kind of playground. Playground for what? Going around and doing horrible things or complicated things or confusing things? No, a playground for helping. A playground for sharing. A playground for kindness. A playground for gentleness. A playground for releasing and relaxing the whole body and mind. So actually we need to kind of cultivate a sense or a view or a perspective where if somebody lays down on the ground in the middle of the shopping mall wearing purple robes with a shaved head and starts doing a relaxing and releasing whole body and mind breathing meditation, or if a child falls to the ground screaming and crying, we can look at that with mindfulness and detachment, and we can use that as a meditation object to bring up a sense of kindness, a sense of generosity and openness, not a controlling, not a managing. There's enough managers in the world to fill up a school bus that's the size of Pluto. No need to be a manager. Try to be a forgiver. Try to be an ender of non-stop complicated thinking. Go ahead, Aditya, you can ask your question, because this is the open space for doing good deeds, for sharing our experience, and for asking some question here at the Blue Wall. We very naughty. We have this disposition towards naughtiness. And for children, it's fine. They are the baby ones. They are learning about the world. They are kind of subject to the environment, right? What they get, that's what they have to give back. But as we get out of the babyhood, we have to become serious. Serious about what? Serious about how little we know. Serious about a lack of confidence of making judgments about other people and judgments about situation. Who are you? What do you know? Basically nothing. Who am I? What do I know? Basically nothing. And then if we're concerned with the Buddha's teachings, well, then there's a whole other view, a whole other firmament to look through and work with. That's very interesting and very worthwhile. So we have to step back from that reactivity. Listen, if you want to get a concussion, If you want to become paralyzed, go out there and fight with the best fighters that you can get. Or if you want to kill somebody else or paralyze somebody else, go out there and kick your heart out. But if you want to be free from suffering, the Buddhist view is that we actually focus on the mind training. We focus on the combat sport or the martial art of the mind, right? To know how to kick, to know how to chop, to know how to backwards flip, double punch. See, you never see one of those. You're lucky Bante's not in the UFC ring, because what's going to happen with a backflip double punch? That's a KO. So, we work on this judo chop of kindness, this judo chop of ending, this judo chop of finishing, this judo chop of refreshing and restarting the relaxation and releasing of the whole body and mind to step forward into the ring of life and perform the martial arts of doing good deeds, doing actions of generosity, doing actions of kindness with mindfulness, with awareness of the present experience that is full of things but is not about anything. And we detach, or we forgive, or we give, right? We forgive and we give. We release. As much as you can hold on to something, you can release that. As much as you can pick this up, you can drop it. But you don't have to drop it and break it, and now people are running around confused. You put it down. And this is what we're learning to do, and this is what we're developing in this path of a Buddhist monk or nun, or a Buddhist layperson, or a person on the path concerned with Buddhism. You can take a deep breath in. This is it. You don't have to be thinking or multitasking. You just breathe and release complicated thinking. That's really a good thing to do. And this is a space for doing that kind of good thing. And what the Buddha says, and what the great masters teach us, is that, look, this is a matter of life and death. You're driving your fancy car, you're sitting in the fancy coffee shop, you're walking around, okay, you see nice people, you see people with a happy face, you see people with a sad face, you see old people, you see young people, you're on the bus talking to someone. This is a life and death situation. Why is it that way? Because you are a naughty one. Because you are a bad one. Okay? Because you're not enlightened. So, actually all of these small moments, we wake up in the morning, we're tired, we go into our habit energies of waking up, but every single moment is a life and death moment. And what that means is that it's so important, it's so precious and valuable to practice with it in the right way. And that means practice with it in the way of giving, practice with it in the way of releasing, practice with it in the way of kindness and gentleness, practice with it now, as if it is of utmost importance, with mindfulness and detachment. And then, you might get there. That's the thing. We might get there. We might get that success. We might get our wish. But we have to put forth this energy. We have to put forth this inspired attention. We have to get involved. And getting involved is about practices. It's not about thinking about things or believing in things. We're going from vijja to avijja. From ignorance to no ignorance, or vice versa, whatever it is. Every moment we're practicing like that. Okay? And what we learn in the Buddhism is that we have a disposition towards degeneration. we have a lot of a karmic backlog of greed, anger, and delusion. Our ancestors, some of our ancestors, were evil cavemen and cave women who were doing all kinds of good things. For example, American ancestry, we were enslaving people, we were holocausting people, doing as bad as you can think. That's what we were doing, right? So there's this quality in us of negativity that wants to plant seeds, or there's seeds there that want to get watered and come up. So we have to cut, and you have to be a good one, not to be a bad one. And you have to take that of really deep importance. I'm going to be a good one today. I'm not going to be a bad one today. Oh, I was a bad one. Forgive, release, relax, begin again. And in this way, we can climb the ladder of authority over the mind. And if we can gain authority over the mind, well, there's no wonder we won't get what we want. There's no wonder that we won't get our wish. We will. But we have to be serious about this practiced life, okay? There's a lot of things that aren't going to happen, and there's many things that could happen, but they're not about our desire. They're not about our fear. They're concerned with everything. So widen out to everything, and you will get your wish easily, quickly, immediately. What is the wish that we all want? You know, in the Thailand, many of the people, they want to have a light skin. So they take the cream and they put the cream, they want to have a very white, light skin. So they're getting their wish. But for a lot of us, we're not so interested in the white skin. It's fine or it's not fine, whatever. But what we should be more interested in is to end the suffering. To get the white skin of the brain, the white skin of the mind. And that means we have to step back from a lot of the nonsense that we're involved with. Surface level nonsense. Judgments, desires, fears. And then we take another look at approaching life in a more open way. A more lovely way. That's not about getting what we want as much as it is about giving and releasing and relaxing what we already have. This is how we get the shower of blessings. Okay? Because we don't do enough meaningful activities in our life concerned with helping others, and because we're not exhausting ourselves in this path of doing good deeds, because we're not exhausting ourselves in this way of focusing on our generosity, focusing on our virtuous conduct, focusing on listening to Dharma talks, focusing on getting concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, getting concerned with the path to enlightenment. We're frustrated all the time. We have to exhaust ourselves in the path. We have to exhaust ourselves in investigation. We have to exhaust ourselves in curiosity. We have to exhaust ourselves in the wonder of wondering, or the wondering of wonder. Instead of asking personal questions about ourselves or personal questions about the others, we should focus on our breathing. That's what we should do. Maybe we can't do it, but that's what we should to do. And because all of the answers about my life and my experience and this body and mind are being perpetually, effervescently expressed now. But because there's so much blockages in the mind, grasping and attachment in the mind, we're not able to take in all the effervescentness of the direct experience. So we have to emphasize that a little bit. Just like this. It's not about thinking. It's not about you thinking. You thinking is ignorance. You not thinking is practice. Not someone not thinking is realization. Everything. Use the word everything. Everything is like a plunger. Your toilet is clogged. The toilet of your mind is clogged with the waste of non-practical, complicated thinking. Just like you have tinnitus. There's tinnitus in your brain. Okay? And the plunger is focusing on our breathing, for example, practicing that meditation. And relaxing and releasing the whole body and mind, regardless of what it is or what it was or what we think about it or what someone else thinks about it. Relax and release the whole body and mind. The way, even tables, let alone the way of enlightenment, even cups, they're not made of words and phrases. They're not made of complicated thinking. They're not made of self and other. And we really want to get the freedom. We want to get the enlightenment. We want to be at peace. And yet somehow we're always conflict with each other, conflict with ourselves. So use the focusing on the breathing and the intention of relaxing and releasing the whole body and mind to clear out this combat-oriented mindset. Is focusing on the breathing ignoring everything? No, focusing on the breathing is inclusive of everything, but it's not about something. So you have to start practicing the focusing on the breathing and the inclusiveness of everything. There's a big confusion here where we think it's about an idea or thinking about something. Shut your mouth and do what I'm telling you to do. That's the answer to your question, your repeated line of questioning. Shut up and focus on your breathing. And hold your hands up like this. Shut your mouth. Shut your mind. Shut everything. Ignore everything, and focus on your breathing. Now, if you can do that, even for a few seconds or whatever, then you'll get some experience. And then instead of this constant nonstop thinking, controlling your life and controlling your body and your mind, you'll be able to share an experience. Hey Bhante, I tried that out. This is what happened. We have much less control over the mind than we think that we do. So the Buddha's teachings are about practices to get control over the mind so that you can be free from the mind, from control, and from practices. Okay? So when you join these things, you have to listen and shut that mouth and practice as much as you can. If I don't tell you anything to practice, well, then you ask me what to do. I'm here listening. What do I do? And then I'll tell you. But otherwise, you can't do anything. You're just thinking about things, talking to yourself, thinking about things, going crazy, fighting against the fear. I'll tell you, John, this is what we have to do. That's a big wish. That's a high wish. Exhaling, I remain. Whatever you want to do, but just focus on your breathing, okay? If you want to say exhaling, I remain, that's fine, but just focus on your breathing. Do the practice. Fighting against fear means that we want the ending of fear. We want to finish fear. Big wish. So it means that we have to be very serious and devoted and involved with the path. There is a path, okay? There is a path. And that path is based on making bun. So what is bun? It's merit, it's blessings. Okay? You need a lot of blessings to go on the path, to listen closely, to do what you're told to do that's beneficial. So, how do you make bun? You practice generosity. You make donations. You volunteer. You go to the animal shelter and you wash the kitty cats and the puppy dogs. You call up your grandma and ask her, what's going on, mama? What's going on, papa? You listen. You share what is valuable to you. You give it away. All right? Then you take 5 precepts. You focus on your activities, your mental activities, your verbal activities, your physical activities. And when you take responsibility for that, you notice, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. When I do that, I suffer more. I get tired. I get weak. I get all twisted up in my brain. When I do that, I have more energy. I'm more kind. I'm more gentle. I'm more aware. I'm more reflexive, receptive, open. So we have to walk on the path. And if we want to do the backflip double punch, I've never seen it done. If you want to do that, to defeat fear once and for all, the full way, you have to practice like this continuously, more and more and more seriously. You have to give your life to continuously doing good deeds with mindfulness and detachment without limits, without any limitations. You can even do this exercise. This is an exercise I do a lot. Freeze. The Dharma police are here. The Dhamma police are here. Okay? And so if I ever saw someone do that, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that person's enlightened or something like that. If I went to the coffee shop, because I'm kind of a weird looking person wherever I go. Because even though this is a Buddhist country, there's not a lot of monks looking like this walking around, going to the coffee shop, etc. So if I saw someone, and this is what you should do as well, Aditya. Don't breathe. Aditya, don't breathe. Freeze the body, freeze the mind. Exercises. John, maybe you can give me a little bit more clarification about that, because I don't fully understand what you're saying. When we're in difficult environments, a lot of the times the only thing that we can do is to endure. And the best way to endure is with keeping with your precepts. So endure adversity, endure suffering, while keeping with the 5 precepts. Or endure suffering without giving rise to unnecessary greed, without giving rise to unnecessary anger, without giving rise to unnecessary delusion. Freeze in the face of adversity. Focus on your breathing in the face of adversity. Well, keep freezing. Keep freezing. Keep freezing up. Okay? It's a good exercise for you. And we have the website monklife.one with recommended Dhamma talks and guided meditations and things for you to listen to and read and recommended teachers and all that. So you have to take this seriously if you want to go down the path. I mean, that's my understanding. That's what I can share with you, my experience as well. So John, working in a hospital with a lot of stress, you just have to look at how seriously you are following the Buddhist path. And you have to see the work not as something you have to do, but as an opportunity for you to practice. right? The work is an opportunity not for you to make money or to meet your responsibilities. The work is an opportunity to help others. The work is an opportunity to do good deeds. The work is an opportunity to be mindful. The work is an opportunity to be detached. The work is an opportunity to exhaust yourself in doing good deeds with mindfulness and detachment. And when you get worked up, when you get to that boiling point, stop. Go to the doctor's room, go to the nurse's room, go to the toilet, sit down on the floor, lay down on the floor, whatever you got to do, and hold your hand over your heart and just breathe. And just relax and release the whole body and mind. It only takes a few moments, a few minutes to do that. And you learn that this is actually a refuge. It takes time, but it's something you can practice immediately. Heads or tails? Heads or tails? Heads. Tails. See? That's bun. That's called bun. Okay? That's called merit. That's called blessings. So, good deeds are primarily about self-sacrifice. And self-sacrifice here is giving up what you're attached to. So volunteering at an animal shelter is good because you're sacrificing your time to help others. Making donations is good because you're taking something that you're attached to and giving it away. So we're exercising the power to release. We're exercising the power to detach in a gross way that also reaches the subtle, because this degree of attachment is there. This degree of grasping is there. And then we release that grasping. It's very, very important. If you don't do good deeds, if you don't prioritize doing actions of generosity in your life, you're not going to have many blessings. And the mind is going to be quite stale and kind of revolve around itself. When we know the power of generosity, we know the power of releasing. Just release. Release it. So you wake up, you feel depressed, you feel anxious. Go for a walk. Give it up, give it away, abandon it. It's not about people's desires. It's about you giving up what you're attached to. You giving away what you're attached to. That's what it's about. And because you don't know very much what you're attached to, it's better that you give up your body, you give up your mind, you give up your money, you give up your possessions, you give up your time to help others. Help others here is just like the conditions that we're making use of to give us the chance to sacrifice, to abandon, to renounce, to give. No, you're just doing something that you want to do. That's all you're doing. Stop doing what you want to do. Abandon it, renounce it, give it up, and go become a monk or a nun, or go to Africa and give away your clothes to some starving African children. Donate money. Donate your possessions. Give up something you don't want to give up. Thank you, Hans. I'm very well. I'm preparing. I'm preparing to go. I'm preparing to leave. Next stop is the Mother Ganga. There's no cheat code here. And this is kind of the crux of the issue. We want to buy. We want to sell. We want to believe in. We want to get others to believe in something. We want to be seen by others. We want to see others. We want to keep what we have, and we want to for others to give us what they have, or to keep what they have, Generosity breaks up all of this view of yourself and all of this complicated thinking. Let me say it clearly. There is many things in your life that you are attached to. There are many things that you are attached to, such as masturbating, such as the money in your bank account, such as your phone, such as your computer, such as your valuable possessions, such as your time that you use to do what you want to do. These are these things that you're attached to, aren't they? Take these things, one of them, and give them away. Abandon them, renounce them, give them away. Donate your money, donate your possessions to a poor child in the street. Donate your time to an animal shelter to volunteer. You don't want to do it. That's the point. That's why it's generosity. Because it's breaking the you grasping. And that's what we're emphasizing here. So, the way of the monk is higher. This is a higher Dhamma. This is the Dhamma of renunciation. This is a Dhamma of abandoning. This is a Dhamma of abandoning one's life or sacrificing one's life. And this is why monks are respected and held up and appreciated. Because they dare to do that, yeah. And then the monks, because they get some experience, or they study the Buddha's teachings, or they get some power in meditation, they can give the Dhamma. It is apparently cold in India, and it will be a good chance for me to suffer more. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to being in India. No, you have to keep fighting. You have to keep fighting. But you have to keep fighting concerned with mindfulness and detachment. You have to keep fighting concerned with releasing and relaxing all the built-up tension. The tension is coming up. The experiences are coming up. The situations are coming up, and we have to deal with them. But the fighting is not to perpetually think about those experiences. It's to relax and release our attachment to these experiences, and then face them and deal with them and transform them from this place of freedom. Otherwise, we will be overwhelmed by our suffering, overwhelmed by our worry, overwhelmed by our drive to control. We don't want to be overwhelmed by these things. We want to be aware of them and free from them. That's the real fighting. That's the real backflip double punch. This is concerned with a revolution. A revolution of the mind. The 60s are back, baby. The 70s are back, baby. But you can also practice with it where you happen to be. And you can be serious about, okay, what is Buddhism? What are the resources offered on monklife.one? How can I practice generosity in my daily life? How can I try my best to be mindful and not overly attached to things in my daily life? How can I do that? Maybe I can read a Buddhist book. Maybe I can listen to a Buddhist teacher. Maybe when Bhante says shut up and meditate, I'll do it and see what happens. And that's kind of what we're doing. This is experimentation. This is practice. It's not about belief. Don't believe me. Don't believe in me. Don't believe in Buddhism. The only thing you need to believe in or have faith in concerned with Buddhism is cause and effect. And if you don't have faith in cause and effect, then it's a bit of a hopeless case. So understanding cause and effect, we're willing to try different approaches, different practices, different methodologies to deal with the mind. Okay? And the first thing that we have to deal with is facing dukkha, facing suffering. You have to face it. You have to be willing to be with it. And when you are feeling suffering, when you are aware of suffering, you can even use a mantra, this is the suffering that the Buddha taught about. This is the suffering that the Buddha pointed to. So the more that you can be with that suffering, be aware of that suffering, the more you can see into it and understand how that suffering is coming about. More pain, more gain. More pain, more gain. Eat pain, eat suffering. Eat it up. That's a medicine for you. You need to suffer more and more. You need to be aware of suffering more and more, because you're already suffering all the time. You're just not aware enough to see that and see the errors in your ways. That's why we have to go to meditation retreat. That's why we have to listen to the talk from the Buddhist monk. That's why we have to go and visit the Buddhist center. Don't become miserable, become generous. How about that? It's your choice. You become miserable or you become generous. You rely on non-stop impractical thinking, or you rely on generosity. You rely on making donations. You rely on volunteering. You rely on serving. You humble yourself. You humble yourself before the needs of others. How dare you not do that? Okay? This world has enough problems. Don't be a problem maker, be a solution giver. And the greatest solution is generosity. It's not about becoming miserable, it's about being upright and being willing to face what is already here. And to endure that and to breathe with that, to focus on your breathing even though you're suffering. And not try to run away from it, not try to avoid it. Go right into it. Go right into your suffering inside of your own mind. You don't have to be sorry, you just have to be good. Breathing in. I am aware of the whole body and mind. Breathing in. I feel the lungs expanding. I feel the inside of my body. I perceive the inside of my mind. Breathing out, I accept this experience. Breathing out, I release and relax the whole body and the mind. I'm willing to do that. Many things come up. And this is why we have to have the power of generosity, because otherwise we just clinging, we just grabbing onto all these different things. We never get anywhere. We can never go deep into the mind and find and experience the wonderful peacefulness that is within us already. Peacefulness and energy. Many, many energies, powers. I became a monk because I saw for myself that the world of the businessman and the romantic man and the subwoofer 2017 Camry with tinted windows man wasn't getting me anywhere. So I dared to abandon it. I dared to give it up. And now there is no man but just Bhante Warapanya. Not about being a man, not about being a woman, not about this or that. Not about something. Just concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, and going further and further down the path of mindfulness and detachment, and doing all kinds of good deeds without limits. Okay, do we have any questions? As Biggie said, you don't know till you know. So get out there and try to do good deeds. Let me know how it goes. And you can Google it and talk with ChatGPT about it as well. But you got to be serious about it. Otherwise, you'll never taste cheese, even in Italy. Okay? So this is Italy. It's time to taste the cheese. All right, well, let's do a short meditation together. So shut your mouth, shut your eyes, shut your ears, shut everything, shut up. And give the attention to the breathing that's already happening. And as you give attention to the breathing that is already happening, become aware of the awareness of the body, of the situation, of experience right now. And as you become aware of that situation of experience right now, give more attention to the breathing that is already happening. Be open and be willing to breathe deeply. And just feel the energy inside of your body of the breathing. And from the mind, give a sense of kindness to that energy of breathing in the body. And once you can start to sense that energy and that feeling of kindness, allow that energy of kindness to spread out throughout the whole body, slowly spreading out from that sense or center of energy of the breathing with kindness in the body. Like a nuclear reactor of focusing on the breathing with kindness inside of the body, and let that radiation of kindness spread out. And allow a light smile to come onto the face. Breathing with kindness. Focusing on breathing with kindness. And we can feel the relief of kindness together with mindfulness. Of breathing, through breathing, with breathing. Relax the face. Relax the heart. Relax and release the whole body and the whole mind. We'll finish with a short prayer together. You may repeat after me. May all beings be well, happy, and peaceful on their path. May all beings find relief and release from from suffering. May all beings know and remember peacefulness that does not depend on thoughts within themselves. May it be, may it be, may it truly be. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, be blessed, be well.